And good evening, everybody. This is Michael Filicaro. I am with logicalsignals.com and tradershelpingtraders.com. And this is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 index for Thursday, May 13th, 2021. The market did perform pretty much in line with my expectations. And the only thing that I did, and I will tell you, is that I shifted the 3 down a little bit and put the 4 over. And that's because that's where the wave completed. Remember, yesterday we were up here and we ran thinking that, well, either the 4's got to move up a little bit or, we may have to be moving it out because the market will go up and then go back down. And that's exactly what it did. So it does appear that we have completed the initial 5 waves down on the hourly chart. It also is on the 15, but it's also on the hourly. And once that's done in the hourly chart, we are fairly now more convinced that we are in at least a fairly decent sized ABC. Now, for here in the NASDAQ, for here in the S&P, we have been leaving open what we intend to label above all of this. And as we go out, the ultimate would be that we complete an intermediate third wave there, and we're into an intermediate third wave decline. I believe that's going to be correct. Let me just go out to the weekly so I can see this more clearly. Yes, 1, 2, and then this would be the third. Yeah, intermediate wave 3, I think. Let me just go like this and see what I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's me. That's that wave line. Okay, so yes, we would be completing an intermediate third wave. And that now I'm feeling more comfortable in putting that label in place because you can see we've got a fairly clean 5 waves down right off of that high. So I'm going to label that as the completion point for intermediate wave 3. And now we've done the first leg down, the A wave down, for the intermediate fourth wave correction, and now we're involved in a B wave up. That's what it appears to me. If it gets any larger, in fact, like if this were to stop and just come down and put another 5 and then 3 and then another 5, this would change. In other words, the degree, it's still going to be a 5-way structure, but a much smaller degree. So we're just going to let the market tell us, but right now, what we can define is we've done 5 waves down, we should get a 3-wave rally. So let's talk about that 3-wave rally and where expectations for that to go would be, whether it's just going to be a 3-wave wave 2, or is it going to be a 3-wave wave B? Those are the 2 choices that we have. We're going to run both counts congruently so that, because it's going to take a while for this all to come out and let us know exactly what the largest structure in place is or being traced out is. All right, so I've gone down to the 15-minute chart. You can see we finished that. We're down here, we put the 5, and we had a nice little rally back up. And that all was today. And thus far, I am almost very tempted to put wave A there, wave B here. So A and B, quick. It did come down to within support levels that were okay. I think we got to 3A2 of this A wave, and that's pretty common. It's a beautiful ABC down before it started to rally again. It did start to rally, broke above that high. So the only other choice that I would have is that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that way, and that this ends wave A. And now we're going to get that B wave decline, in which case what we would be looking for from here is for the market to go from there, maybe up a little higher, but then drop and complete the ABC down for wave B. So we'll go through that in a second. But right now, I kind of prefer, because of what I think the position the other markets are in, not that it's impossible for one to continue to correct while the other one rallies. We've been seeing a lot of that lately, but it won't rally or decline. It may rally with the intensity, but it won't decline with the same intensity because of these shared stocks. And particularly the S&P gets tugged along more cleanly right now with the NASDAQ than it does with the broader market. So, I mean, the broader market still has the upper hand, but when the NASDAQ gets cooking, it did the S&P kind of follows along. So in the NASDAQ, I'm counting it pretty much the same. We've done the A, we've done the B, and now we're working up in the C wave. So that's what I'm going to call it for the S&P. Could be different, but right now I'm going to stick with that. So that's wave A, that's wave B. Wave 1, this is wave 2. We may pull back a little bit more, maybe down to 4,098, which is where the 15-minute, 50-day moving average is sitting. We should continue to have support down here. Definitely, I don't think it can, it is the wave 2, the small one, it can't go below that level, can't go below 4,082. Then it's something totally different. That's how we're going to count. And then once wave 3 begins, again, being a third wave, it should be the strongest and it should be the longest wave of this 5-wave sequence that we're going to be counting. It just cannot be the shortest, but it normally is the longest. So let's start looking at where we have clusters of possible resistance that's going to hold it. Right now, we have a cluster at 41.29 to 41.40. I'm going to say if this is wave A and this is wave B, I'm going to be looking for, I'll tell you what, I did do that. These are projections for that C wave. Now, C, when compared to A, the first limit is 0.618. That's not totally uncommon, but it wouldn't be my first choice. But it can. If the selling and the pressure or something happens and that's all we get, and the structure is there, then we would have to accept that. That would be a level. More common where I think that at least the third wave is going to complete, I think it's going to be somewhere between 4,148 or 50, 4150 to 4160. That seems to be a nice clean zone, and it's got 1, 2, 3 Fibonacci levels in it. First zone, 34 to 40 or 30 to 40. I don't suspect that that's going to contain it. Not even wave 3. Next, 4150 to 4160. I think that might contain the third wave. Ultimately, though, I think that wave could get up here to the 100%, where wave C would be equal to wave A. And we have an additional Fibonacci resistance right there. So we have 100%, which is this extension, and then we have 0.705%, so 70.5%, right also at that same level. I like it, and that's where I'm going to be thinking that wave 3 will come here, we'll pull back, and then we'll run up, and then wave 5, completing the C wave, will end up here. Downside, again, if it starts to drop and gets itself below this level, then I'm not totally concerned, but I'm more in line with that this completed the first wave, the A wave up, and we're in that B wave down, and that changes what we're going to look for. So first thing I'm going to do, take off those present extensions, and then I need to run what would be a reasonable B wave. So we want to switch, and we want to go back to Fibonacci retracements. This one, and now we're kind of going to draw from there to there. Come on. Loves to play with my mind, and when I'm trying to describe things, there we go. Okay. Most common, 3A2. So we're really still within the ball game. More likely, if it's going to be a B wave, it's going to be down here. Again, we're in that 0.618, 0.705. So, 40.67 down to 40.58. Or you can make it $10, we can go 67 to 57. That would be the zone where I think a B wave would complete. And again, it's going to be an ABC down. So if it only comes into here, then I think it's a wave 2. Like that's 1, A, and then this is just a wave 2. So that's A, that's B, that's 1, this is 2. And it can come all the way down to there. I think that would be acceptable. And then start to rally, get itself above. And this is the other point. When that rally starts from whatever point here, it is going to either be in a C wave or it's in a third wave. Both carry the same characteristics. So they move fast. There could be sudden. They're going to be with purpose. I mean, you think like, hey, we are going to the moon. And they just push. So either one, whether it starts from here, whether it starts from here, or whether it starts from here, those are the expectations. It should not waste a whole lot of time getting itself back above 41.26, making a new high above there and get itself up into these zones. Completion zones continue to be 51.60, 41.77, I'm going to call it. We have absolute bare bones minimums down here. Don't think that's going to work. I think it's going to be up in here. And that corresponds with a fourth wave over here, and it corresponds with a fourth wave over here. So we've got a lot of fourths where this should congeal and finish, and then we will get the next leg down to begin. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Continue to trade wisely, trade with good risk management as best as you can do, and use your moving averages as we have been talking about. We're both in this update and also in the NASDAQ update. We continue to talk about moving averages are your friend. And when you get them all pointing in one direction, they're dynamic. They are dynamic. And particularly when you can get an alignment between a 1 minute or 2 minute and a 5 minute chart, extremely dynamic. That move's going to go. You want to be on board. I don't care if it's up or down. It's going to go and you want to be on board. That's it for today. Next update will be Sunday.